I'm going to show you a quick clip of an older woman, a senior, holding a picture of her and her husband taken decades ago on their motorcycle. So I'm going to talk about this in just a sec. Now, when you ride a bike long enough, you're going to have people come up to you and talk to you. It happens all the time. And some people like to be assholes. They like to tell stories, Uncle Ralph's stories, I call them. Because so-and-so's Uncle Ralph, got into a horrible accident or a whole bunch of fucking nonsense about riding motorcycles. Well, let me tell you guys something. I knew the danger when I was a kid, and it's worth it to me. So, what are you going to tell me? Gee, I'm not going to drive a car because, so-and-so I know got hurt in a car wreck. I'm like, come on, you idiots. Well, 2 times that I can think of, older women approached me and talked about the motorcycle. The first time was when Charlie and I were kind of sort of north of Reno in the rural, riding off in the Sage, and on our dual sports, and we wanted to drink and a rest, and so we rode into just the outskirts of Reno, maybe Sun City or somewhere up there, or Sun Valley or whatever it's called. And there's a non-chain grocery, and we go in and we buy our sodas and stuff, and we come out, and there's an older gal, probably in her 70s. This is years ago. This is at least 20-something years ago. And she says, we say hello, and she starts talking to us, and she told us that her and her husband used to ride all the time back in the day, and she missed it, and it was a great time of her life, and she was glad to see us riding with helmets and boots and long sleeves and all that stuff. And she kind of, we let her talk. Hell, we're in no hurry. And we had about a nice 10-minute conversation with her. God love her, And you could just tell that her husband, and it may be extrapolating a bit, but her husband was probably dead. And she, it was just a good time for her in life. And seeing us reminded her of that. Now, the second time this happened, I was at the post office in French Camp where I had my legal address, because I didn't tell the Mercury either my phone number or my address, because my coworkers were prank calling me and stuff. So I took care of this. In fact, when I went into Human Resources to report my address change, the guy gave me a bad time, said, no, you need to give me a street address. And I told him, look, I know the law, and this is my legal address, and if you have a problem, bluntly, I don't care. Leave me alone. So my phone number was my pager, and the Mercury never had my my house address, even though 3 fellow employees, one being a supervisor, lived on the block with me. So it's like, come on, you idiots. Anyway, I'm at the post office on the way home from work. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm in single copy still, and I'm going to get the mail, and there's an older gal, and we had the same type of conversation. Her and her husband used to ride Indians, and she said we rode everywhere, and she just, the same thing, It was a good time in life, and seeing me reminded her of that. In fact, there's one more time I was on the scooter by myself on Highway 44, Shingletown or somewhere up there, and I stop at the same type of grocery store, and I walk out, and I'm talking to some other people, and they said, when we were younger with our kids, we go out in the desert and ride all the time. And I'm thinking, well, there you go. But, for these 3 times, there's 50 times of Uncle Ralph stories. In fact, one time, Charlie and I were in Isleton, California, on 160 in Sacramento County, and we stopped at the little grocery, and the guy came out and was talking about the fairing won't deflect a cow, and And he got so mad that Charlie and I were just laughing at it, thinking, oh yeah, they're so dangerous. In fact, we should just shoot ourselves right now because, by God, they're dangerous. Please take us home because it's too safe or it's way too dangerous. Well, he didn't know that about 15 minutes prior on 160, right before 12, I was absent-minded and traffic had stopped all of a sudden and there was nowhere to go. And these dual sports, I mean, they had brakes, but I mashed on the brakes and I got within about an inch of the guy. It was like, God damn, dude, pay attention. And there was no swerving into the other lane because it's 160 and there's a billion cars. And I stopped and Charlie and I looked at each other and it's like, oh shit, dude. So we got in the aisle and he asked me, dude, what are you thinking about? And I said, God, I was absent-minded. So that's kind of the Uncle Ralph stories. It was good to see this gal here in the picture. You know that she had great memories of riding with her husband. So that's the Uncle Ralph story. Thank you for watching Storytime with Joe. And there you go.